GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Shelton scores! Off of the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! L.A. face with an Oakland booty. Scores! Make me a bicycle club. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Derek, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Looks like we got Bobby, Tom, Dan, and Eric on the call tonight, so it'll be a pretty fun night. I know Marco said he was going to take the evening off because we definitely had our fill of him last time. So not all bad. Tonight we're going to be talking about rookie sensationalism, and what I mean by that is it's kind of like a topic that I've been thinking about a little bit lately, how this year seems a little bit more prevalent than in previous years as far as like rookie tracking and basically teams profiting off of big name rookies. And what I mean by sensationalism is comparing it to historical data that we have or experiences previous rookies in years, as well as any sort of sales of memorabilia that have been going on regarding those rookies. So off the cuff, I mean, we're looking a couple years back, like Taylor Hall was the big rookie, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins after that, Nail Yakupov, Nathan McKinnon, Aaron Ekblad, and then this year's Connor McDavid, and then you have the rookie class that surrounds each one of those players. So you take a look at the pricing of different things that are going on, and personally I feel that this year has been an extremely massive jump in the rookie class as far as like perceived value. And in addition to that, I really don't think that it's going to be sustained in future years, if you know what I mean. So do you guys have anything you want to weigh in before we start mashing the topic pretty hard?
I was just going to say I'm new to the collecting thing. I've been at it probably 2 or 3 years, and I'm just amazed like some of the prices some of these rookies go for compared to like some of the Hall of Famers or legends. It's like the rookies are even more than some of the Hall of Famers. It's like these kids have done nothing except in juniors, which doesn't always translate over into the NHL. I mean, I just think it's kind of insane. I saw someone who had Johnny Gaudreau game-used gloves for $2,500. I'm like, for game-used gloves? That's just, to me, that's insane. But
that doesn't even scratch the surface.
I just got out a little spreadsheet and started typing some things in because I was thinking about how if you look at the Connor McDavid stuff, so obviously he's one end certainly of the spectrum at $35K a pop. I mean, good God. But if you look at him and the other members of I would say not just the current rookie class, but the current echelon of young guns, if you will. And then you start to comparing those to some of the Hall of Fame or legend type players you could get. So I just started putting some numbers in and looking at the number of points they've scored as compared to a Hall of Famer. So if you got Connor McDavid, who has 35 points in his NHL career,
we gotta kind of calculate that over games though due to his injury.
Yeah, sure. You do, but I think that, and it's not a perfect measurement. But if you think about, you're paying basically $1,000 a point so far. Or, Shane Gothisbeer, you got a $2,750 jersey. He's got 38 points. You got $72.37 a point, right? And then you look at a guy, a more proven veteran. And it's not to say these guys might have amazing careers, but let's say you look at a Steve Yzerman, or actually let's do Nick Lidstrom just for since I mentioned a defenseman with Gothisbeer, we'll mention Lidstrom. He had a jersey in 2015 that sold on GameWorn auctions after Hammer for $33.22. So with the number of points he has in his career, that's $2.91 a point. So it's just like, it's not even close. And obviously they've got a long way to go in their careers, and they're just starting out and they're young guns. But to throw that kind of coin down right out of the gate for a guy that hasn't yet done anything and it's all on speculation is just insane.
Well, here's the curious thing that I've been thinking about, and I mean factoring it down to points is kind of all right, I guess. But the one thing we're missing is, the points that they wear in that specific shirt. I mean, the rookie year, you got one season on it, and you can't really on a veteran player, calculate it down to that specific season. So I mean, you do have that now. Here with the Connor McDavid situation, he's wearing a crap ton of more jerseys than any other rookie, and they're also selling higher. Now there's a lot of sensationalism around it, which is one of the big things that we're talking about here is the sensationalism, and I would say it's one of the greatest things this year is how much people are talking about these rookies, but that's really hurting the prices, I think, and it's not going to be sustainable. Because if you take a look back, you got your Taylor Hall, right? And I think when he dropped, I think, what was it, like $6,000 or 7,500, something like that, and now you can get them for under $3,000 and that's the high end, right? So I mean, and really, what do you think the resale value on a Taylor Hall rookie jersey that you bought at that high end is going to be? Same thing with Tavares. Now, Tavares, one of the things that they did was they kind of stabilized the price. I think, was it Migray that had the Islanders at that time? Well, I can't remember what his jersey went for, but it was pretty high. And now the Islanders have kind of tried to stabilize it at $6,000, but they don't sell. And then you got like Yakupov, who completely fell off the map. And last year's Ekblad, nowhere near the prices that we're seeing. And it goes along with anything that these guys are touching too. So goal score pucks. Let's use Dylan Larkin because I'm familiar with the team. His goal score pucks are going for $450. That's not going to be sustained. If you try to sell that again, you're going to lose your ass. His first gold gloves, I think, were sold for somewhere in the ballpark of like $5,000 at a charity event or something. And I think his another set of gloves was $1,500 or something around that mark. I mean, we're talking pretty high prices. And these guys could have a short career. They could get injured. They could have a hot career now and kind of drop off. And we've seen that before. We've seen rookies come in and have a hot rookie season and drop off. Let's take a look at, a while ago when it was Barrett Jackman's class with Zetterberg. Jackman run Rookie of the Year. But where's all of his shit now? I mean, you can pick it up for, what, $500?
Yes and no. Migray still has his Predators jersey, which he's nowhere near what he was with the Blues. It's still like at $750, and
but it doesn't sell. So then you get the highest price at the summer sale.
It's still there for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guy. I'd like to get a Preds jersey of his. But there's no way I'm going to pay $750 for a guy who's at the tail end of his career, who's not going to put up the points or have the wear on like he would in the first 5 years of his career with the Blues.
So what I'm saying is we're looking at this current rookie class, right, and trying to weigh out Calder contenders and things like that. And you look at previous Calder contenders and where the prices are now versus what the prices were when they were contenders. And I mean, the only ones that really went up were franchise players, like big name franchise players, right? And how can you sustain it? What are the big names right now? It's McDavid, it's Eichel, and it's Larkin. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing a couple others. What is it?
That guy, that kid, Chicago. What's that young? Is he a Russian brother in Chicago?
It's hard to base. It's hard to base everything off of Chicago because their prices are always way higher.
Well, I'm just saying the rookies. Going off. Then there's a guy
from
Washington.
Sorry,
Washington's got one, right?
Yeah, no, the kid from Philly, the Finnsman.
Gosbjerg.
Yeah. So 2750 is what Migray has them for right now.
Is it? I haven't looked at it. Jeez.
Yeah, 2750. Just for comparables, you could buy. I know of a guy that just recently purchased a Ron Francis photo match game worn jersey from 97-98, and he paid $3,200. That's a man that's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, top 5 scoring.
2750. That's how much a couple Hall of Fame Flame players were going for.
Yeah.
Recently too. I mean, I don't know. It just blows my mind. I know I'm new to this, but it's just like I don't see how it's that much when they put out literally 6 jerseys a year, because Migray usually has 3 sets for the teams that they work for, And it's like, what, they get like a month and a half wear on each one, and then it's on for sale. And it's just,
Well, shit, look at Ovechkin. I mean, my God, he produces, but look at the amount of jerseys that and
look at
crazy
Crosby.
prices. Exactly.
Well, those jerseys
Crosby
don't
has
sell
like a jersey
either.
for every
They
3
don't
games.
sell.
Crosby's kind of sell because he's like the face of the NHL, right? So it's all about marketing is what it comes down to. Is a lot of it is marketing, and when these players' rookie years are done, the marketing's going to be over, and therefore the economic market for them is going to drop drastically. So
I don't know.
if you want these jerseys, your play is to wait, because next year prices are going to plummet for the last year's rookie class, and then the new rookie class. Austin Matthews is going to be sky high.
I don't know. Connor McDavid, they still are playing him as the next Gretzky. They're hyping him more than like anything I've ever seen for a rookie.
He's
Pretty
a
much as much
he's a
as
current year rookie, though. I mean,
Yeah, I
they're
don't
gonna
know.
be saying the same thing when Austin Matthews gets drafted.
We've seen this with McDavid before. We saw it with Crosby. Shit, we saw it with Lindros years and years ago. This has happened before.
Well, because they're gonna play off the rookie jersey, and people are going to pay to say I have so and so's first jersey. You know, I have
Ignore that. We're 80 of them.
Yeah, they're gonna play for that. And if you're a guy if one of these players fits your collection for whatever your focus is, you're best to just wait. You know, your best just to wait till he's. You know, if you think that these guys are gonna be around for a long time, you know, prices are gonna drop to a more reasonable price, and especially if the guy gets hurt. Not that I want anybody to get hurt,
Right.
but then the price will plummet. You know,
Well, look what happened to McDavid this year. Migray had all these jerseys set out for him, and then he gets hurt mid-season. He missed probably like a third of the season, or half of it at least.
Yeah.
And now, they had to do a press release saying, this is what we're going to do now since he's been hurt, and we're not going to have all those jerseys since they're just now game issued. It's like jump the gun a little bit and
just think comparably for a McDavid. So let's say you got one of his jerseys that he actually played in, and you paid $35,000 for it.
Jeez.
You could pay $15,000 less and get a Mark Messier hammered Edmonton Oilers jersey from the 80s.
Right.
Just to put it in perspective.
Yeah.
And what people are betting on is breaking records. That's pretty much all this is going on, or winning the Calder. But how many Calder winners do we see that lose stock almost immediately?
Look at McKinnon.
Huberdeau.
McKinnon, he had that sophomore slump, and his numbers are nowhere close to what he was his rookie year.
Tyler Myers, Steve Mason. I mean,
they go on and on.
I mean, I love the dude, but look at Jeff Skinner.
Jeff Skinner, great example, yeah.
Had 2 good seasons, and no one wants him because contract and just he can't produce anymore.
Right, and you have to if you're gonna spend that kind of money on a rookie jersey, I don't think jerseys. You should look at it as a jersey an investment. I think that's the wrong word. But if you have it long term, because you're never going to sell it for the price you paid for it.
Mm-mm.
And I think rookie jerseys are a little bit of a weird animal, to be honest, because if I am getting like a franchise player's jersey, you know what I want on it? I want that fucking Captain C on it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Well,
true.
it reminds
jersey
me.
is cool and all, but that Captain C is where it's at, especially for your franchise players.
Yep.
What do you think it's going to go for next year or 2 years when McDavid's probably going to be named the captain of the Oilers? You think it's going to go way the fuck high than what it is now?
No, not a chance, because you're losing sensationalism. Next year, the talk is going to be about Austin Matthews, because the Calder race is going to be over for McDavid. He either had it or he didn't, and now the Calder talk is going to be about Austin Matthews and that rookie class. And then the only way that talk is going to happen about McDavid at that point is going to be if he has a really good season. Like, he's going to have to
actually
hype up the season every single year in order to keep the hype high. But even the hype is going to go away because he's no longer a rookie.
Well, it's also going to depend on what the Oilers do. If the Oilers don't start winning with all these number 1 draft picks, his jersey will come down and settle down because the next flavor, Austin Matthews or whoever comes down the road, will pick it up. If Connor McDavid played in like Tavares in New York, or he played in another big city like Philadelphia or LA, he would keep going up, especially if you got the C. But he doesn't. He
Yeah.
plays in Edmonton. Nothing against Edmonton, but that's where he plays at. And so he's going to settle down unless they win. If they win the cup, if they
Let's not
win,
even talk about them winning a cup because it's not going to happen anytime soon.
no, but that's
Their
going to
stock has
that's going to
plummeted so much they haven't even been relevant since last time they
Right.
were
but
in the
that will
Stanley
push
Cup.
his jersey. That will push his jersey back up.
It won't
Especially
push it back up. It'll push it up from the point of it being down, but it's
Yeah.
never going to hit the peak,
Well,
man.
it's
It's
not
not going
gonna-
to hit the
it's never going
35,000
up.
again.
My
No,
God.
not what they got now. I mean,
In-
on
in
NHL
their-
auctions, there's this camel warm-up jersey for $4,700. A
Mhm.
freaking warm-up jersey for $4,700.
You're going to be able to get his regular season jerseys for that in due time. And, you know, a big part of it is because when you try to sell it on that secondhand market, people are going to look at it and be like, all right, so you have his rookie year jersey. That's great. How many rookie year jerseys are there? 50? Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Because they had
At
so many.
least there was 4 in one game, wasn't there?
secondhand
Yeah.
market takes a look at that. They take secondhand market factors value from the amount of games used, the points scored in said games, and the wear on the jersey.
Well, let's
Just
let's
how
talk
it
about
is.
it like it is. We are the secondary market. I certainly do when I'm looking at jerseys. I know every one of us on this call do. I mean, it's just the fact of the matter. You want to know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
always
care.
research the players I'm going to get in the info, like, you know, do I want to pay this much for this player for that was worn during this time? And it's like, okay, yes, maybe, you know. That's like I was trying to do the Avalanche's jersey for their stadium series. And I was like, okay, I want this player and I'm going to pay only this much. And then I was like, well, it went past my price. I'm like, I'm not going to pay more than what I have down because the player I wanted didn't even play because he was a backup goalie and he sat on the bench, and I put mine at 500. I was like, yeah, that's a lot, but I was like, maybe I'll win it for under 500. No, it's gone past my bid. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $500 for a jersey that the guy wore sitting on the bench. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Calvin Pickard, right? Is that your guy?
yes.
Yeah. So I don't care if Connor McDavid is from my hometown, went to
Yeah.
my high school, lived next door to my mom and dad. I'm not paying $4,700 for his
Mhm.
jersey. I don't give a crap. That's just ridiculous. And if people want to pay it, hey, more power to you. But you're going to get a shock in the face when you go to try to sell in the secondary market, and people
No,
are going to be like, "Yeah, big deal."
Now that's if these people actually do put it on secondary. Now they might buy and just actually keep it at home and frame it and, you know,
Yeah.
use it as a centerpiece, which, I mean, I'm fine with that. But it's like, you know, then you're going to get these $35,000. Well, I'm just looking to get back what I paid for, and then I'm going to sell it for $35,000.
No, it's not gonna happen. Again,
You're not
because
going to get that.
They're gonna
Not a
they're gonna
chance.
frame it. It's got to have it. The flavor of the month. They got to have it, and then down the road, whatever time that comes, they're either gonna die and their kid's gonna grab it, or something's gonna happen down the road. And players say, "Whoa, so and so paid 35,000 for it in the secondary market." At some point, that jersey will hit the secondary market, and they'll be like, "So,
No,
Yeah.
so what?"
Here's the side swing to the entire thing is when you're trying to sell that jersey again, who are you trying to sell it to? Now, if you're trying to sell it to a fan that doesn't know any better and has more money than brains, it might not be a bad sell. But if you're trying to sell it within the community that you're more familiar with and is easier to tap, such as a group of collectors, because let's face it, finding fans that have stupid money and don't know better is a little bit more difficult to find than, you know, somebody who collects jerseys.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think in general it pays to be patient, especially if you like modern guys. Just wait it
Yeah.
out. The legends, the Hall of Famers, their jerseys have generally have an established price point for the most part. There's certainly outliers,
Hmm.
but otherwise, if you're going to be a McDavid fan or hell even a Sidney Crosby fan, time is your best friend. Just
Yeah.
wait it out.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'd say. I think if you're in this for the long haul, if you enjoy the collecting of a jersey, you know, you just have to wait your turn. You know, like this year, like I think I was talking to Derek something about we were talking about Dylan Larkin's jerseys of Red Wings. If you want a Dylan Larkin jersey, I wouldn't even try this year because that Hockey Town Thanks store is going to be nuts going for that guy's jersey.
There's going to
You
be
know,
fights. That'd be almost worth
Yeah.
going just to see the people
Yeah.
watch.
I'd go just set up a chair with
Yeah,
a beer just to watch the
popcorn.
fights with that jersey. Because it does it, even though he's someone that fits. I might as well just wait. wait. Time is on my side because I don't look at the jersey as an investment because the secondary market doesn't dictate an investment.
No, yeah, the secondary market is not as good as how it was even a couple years ago. Like I've seen people have same jerseys up, and they're someone are decent players, but I think some people overprice what they think this player's worth, and it's like, I have this player who played for, on the fourth line and maybe had an average of 10 minutes of ice time for the whole season, and I want to sell his jersey for $500. Good luck. Good luck. I mean, I'm having difficulty. I have one up. The guy's a third line player, and I'm trying to sell mine for $300. And I don't have a single bite on it, and so it's just like I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. If I sell it, I sell it. If I don't, I don't. I'm not. It's not like I'm a big hurry to sell it. If I was like, okay, I'll knock it down to this price and this price, and then that's what you'll see. People have their jerseys up, and then within like even 3 days, they're like, okay, I'm not gonna price down $50. Another 3 days, go by. Okay, I'm knocking another $50, and at some point they're gonna knock it down all the way to the price you really want it for, and they're gonna have it at $500, and in like a month it's gonna be all the way down to like $250 maybe.
This hobby is all about patience, both in buying and selling, because if you want to get a certain amount for something you're selling it for, you're gonna generally have to wait it out. Just like you described, if you want to buy something and you see it for sale, just give it a minute. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but usually it does.
It's also about smart timing. So I've seen on the forums, somebody had a handful of McDavid Otters jerseys, right? If that was me, I would be hawking that shit so fast.
I know. I think the same thing every time I see them. Sell that shit. You're never going to make as much money as you're going to make right now, and you're literally going to make enough to
buy a McDavid.
Well, you buy it back in like 5-10 years.
Yeah, shit. Exactly.
I mean, for me, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, to each their own, too. I mean, it might be... at that point, you really just have to weigh it out. Like, are these jerseys really worth that much to you to keep them as opposed to get rid of them? For me, hell no. No jersey is worth that. I mean, if I was seeing those prices for, say I had a bunch of Larkin, like, University of Michigan jerseys, which there's not a bunch of them. There's like 4 or something like that, and I know somebody who has one. But like, if we were looking at like $35,000 for his rookie NHL, you're damn right I'd be hawking that Michigan one, because it ain't gonna be worth that.
Well, that's like,
later on, you just buy
John Scott.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, look at the guy trying to sell John Scott. I applaud him for trying to, go after the market on that. I mean, that's smart on his part.
It's the right move.
It is, because I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where, even though he's not with us tonight, Marco says the people throw the word around Grail too much, and I'm sure everybody has that one jersey that they want to be buried in, but sometimes you have to be smart about things, and if some people are willing to overpay for a jersey, then so be it.
Well, here's the thing you need to factor in when you're thinking about all of this and adding it in, is we're gonna talk about Sidney Crosby here for a minute, as much as it sucks. Right?
No, it doesn't suck. What are you talking?
We're talking about sensationalism, right? And we're talking about the rookie sensationalism. Well, Crosby was a little bit of a different story, because not only did he have rookie sensationalism, but he became the front face for the NHL at the behest of NHL marketing. All right, so not only was he rookie sensationalized, but he was league sensationalized. He was the next hockey. He was hockey. When people talked about hockey, it was always Crosby, and that's why his stock and everything held value. And
even like 8, 9, 10 years later, he's been in league. 8 years? Is it?
Because of all the marketing and all the money put behind his career. Not even because he's an outstanding player. He's the best player. He didn't even win the Calder, right? If I recall correctly.
No, he did not.
So you take a look at the marketing behind him, and then you take a look at the marketing behind the current class, and it's not going to stay behind them as it was with Crosby, because if you notice, I don't know how many of you seen it, the Austin Matthews marketing has already started. They've already had featurettes and things about Austin Matthews, which isn't going to be in the next rookie class. So the sensationalism on the rookies in this class is not going to be the same that it was on Crosby. Nobody is now the face of the NHL, as much as they want to say, he's the next Wayne Gretzky, this, that, and the other.
Well, the NHL needs a face. They always need a face, and Crosby's still playing, and they put a lot of work, not just money, but work into establishing him as the face. So there's less of an imperative to say, okay, let's make sure this kid is the face so we have one.
Yeah.
Now,
Especially, look at the time. They needed a face coming out of the lockout, too. They had to have
Yeah.
it.
And no offense, but McDavid plays in Edmonton.
Yeah,
It's just-
I was going to bring up that point. I mean, look at, a lot of it also probably depends on where are they going. Like, Crosby went to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been known, is still somewhat fresh at the time of, they have Mario Lemieux, they have those championships. When the Oilers haven't been relevant since really when Gretzky and Messier and Fuhrer were around. No one, since then everyone's like, oh, they still play. Oh, okay, it's like they're an afterthought. And the Penguins were still somewhat in the news because there was even talk of them moving out of Pittsburgh, I believe, before Lemieux took control. Right. And so they were in the news, and it was like, oh my gosh, Crosby's here to Pittsburgh. He's going to save hockey in Pittsburgh. Hey, he could save hockey through the NHL since his lockout. Let's plaster his face all over everything. That's my theory, though.
Yeah, and he plays on a popular team. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, people. You got to understand that Pittsburgh fans, they buy jerseys for all the teams. Steelers, Pirates.
Yeah.
You go to Pittsburgh,
gosh.
everybody.
Now they're buying Pirates. They never did before.
But everybody's in a jersey. So
yeah.
He plays in a market that's a sports hungry,
town,
sports savvy, hungry market, and they're relevant again. I mean, they haven't won a cup in a while, but they're on TV, they're this and that. So they keep that face going. So
what's funny is we talk about all this. He's still. I mean, this is a shitload of money. That's probably more than I'd ever spent on a jersey. But his jerseys are $9,000. That is a long damn way from $35,000.
Yeah, and again, I don't know what his rookie jersey's worth. Because we're talking about rookie jerseys.
But
that's fair. And rookie means first. And most of us started out collecting cards. That's how we got into this. We kind of started with the baseball cards, the football cards, whatever cards you collected. And the rookie cards were always the most expensive. It was always. The rookie card was got to have this first card. The first card he's on, the first, where was the first one? And after that, it tailors, downside, it goes downhill. And that's what's happening right now. All these rookie jerseys, everybody wants.
Well, how many rookie jerseys do you see now that are selling more or at a significantly higher rate than maybe another notable jersey? I mean,
they're watering
it down.
Like you said, they're watering down because there's so many of them.
The ones that sell for higher than normal rates are Stanley Cup Finals jerseys and milestone jerseys. It's not rookie jerseys. Rookie jersey does not hold value. It doesn't increase the value comparatively to the player.
Shoot, even game issue Stanley Cup Final jerseys sell more than regular jerseys.
Calder jerseys don't hold a lot of value comparatively to the rest of other jerseys unless it's something amazingly notable. Say he breaks a scoring record for among rookies. I could see that one holding value.
Yeah, but you're having a conversation with people who actually look at it that way. We look at, like you said, I'd rather have that Captain C Connor McDavid. Somebody'd rather have the McDavid where he broke, let's hypothetically say he broke a record.
No, you're going to want the Connor McDavid if they ever lift the cup. You're going to want the one that he lifted it in.
Right. So there are people out there that say I want his first jersey. They want the new thing, and that's why they overpay for the jerseys. It's the same thing with to me, it's relating to on a different scale, but it's the same thing as the rookie card. Some people want the first one, and that's why these rookie jerseys are being oversold.
Well,
that's why
want the first one because it's the only one right now.
Right. And how many rookie jerseys
McDavid and they don't want to wait, and that's the problem that we're talking about.
Which is what
10
we
years
said.
down the line, though, when shit's selling, they're not going to look back and be like, I got to have the McDavid rookie. They're going to take a look across the span, and they're going to say,
I want his first game, first period jersey, or I want his, he had him wear a warm up, and then he had the first period, in the second period, in the third period. I mean,
They
that's
won't even care
four.
about that. They won't even care about that. What they're gonna do is they're gonna look for milestones. People who want a McDavid jersey aren't gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay, out the nose for this rookie jersey." They're gonna say, "All right, let me span his career real quick, and I want the best McDavid jersey available."
Jersey.
And it's no doubt not gonna be his rookie season.
Take a look on Migrate, search for Ovechkin, go to the second page. And this is a consigner, but there is an Ovechkin one game only rookie jersey for listed at $22,500. And a buddy of mine just texted me, he's listening, and reminded me that there is a Crosby rookie jersey out there with an asking price of a cool $20K on it. So there are people that think
That jersey
there are
that
these
they're asking
elevated values.
$20K on, they had it listed at one point for $80K.
What?
And then everybody kind of laughed.
God.
That's all I,
mean,
can
I'm
do
still
is
laughing
laugh at that.
It's
That's
a
so
notable jersey. I mean,
stupid.
but the reason why these places have them on consignment like this and they're not selling is because they're not notable jerseys. I mean, it's notable in the regard that it's a rookie jersey. Yes, that's great, but it's not a milestone jersey. It's not a landmark moment. People want landmark moments in this hobby. That's what they pay out the nose for. If you had Mario Lemieux, first shift, first goal, first shot jersey, you're going to get paid out the nose. If you got Wayne Gretzky Stanley Cup lifting, or the very first Stanley Cup lifting of your team's career or of your career or something like that, that's what they want. They don't care about, oh, this is the first jersey that you ever put on, but you fucking sucked your first game. People don't care about that.
I'm just, we're talking reasonable. You're talking to some people, and probably some of the people listening are saying, we're going to look at what the jersey means. Is it a milestone? Is it a captaincy? Is it got a big, big slit in it, big bunch of wear? Did he get in a fight in it? Got blood on it? The unreasonable person that pays this kind of money for jerseys that we're talking about,
They're fans.
That's right.
They gotta have the flavor of the month. And next year is going to be Austin Matthews, and they're going to pay $20,000 for Austin Matthews, and then they're going to have two jerseys on their wall, one of Connor McDavid, one of Austin Matthews for $40,000, $20,000 a piece, and they're going to think we're going to laugh at them. We're going to be like, yeah, good job, dude.
Well,
Thanks.
Yeah, but you know
Here's the
what?
thing.
If they got 20 G's to drop on a jersey, I mean, and do that multiple times, they're playing on a different playing field from most of us. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
One of the things we're missing too is there's a complete underground of jersey collecting, of guys that don't get on social media, don't post things, but somehow know each other, and it's akin to black market deals, but it's huge jerseys trading hands that nobody knows about. We're talking, high-end Gretzky's and how jerseys they're trading hands, and nobody knows that this is going on. And those are people that might get into the mix of this. But you look at the guy that has, the 20 grand wrapped up in the Crosby or whatever, however much he bought it for, he's not going to get it back. But he's also not going to sell it unless he gets what he wants, which means he's perpetually stuck with it.
Yeah. Well, maybe not stuck. Maybe he likes it. Maybe to him it's worth that. And I guess if he's selling it, then he doesn't feel that way. But I think that's another thing to think about, is if it's something that a collector, I mean, it's hard to slight somebody if they see a Connor McDavid and they say, I must have one from his rookie year, I'm willing to spend 35 grand, and I'm buying it because it's something I'd like to keep. It's okay. Everybody's entitled to that.
Definitely to each their own. I mean, no doubt. I ain't gonna hate on you to spend, whatever the hell you want on the jersey that you want the most. If it's the jersey that you want the most, whatever it takes to get that damn jersey.
Derek, did you say that when you went to the Migrate one year and a guy had a Joe Sakic jersey, and you asked about a story, and he's like, it's Joe Sakic, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, what's with the jersey? Why is it significant to you?
Tell me about the jersey.
Right. So if somebody comes and said, I dropped 20 G on a Connor McDavid, and you said, well, why? And it's because I collect rookie jerseys. Well, okay, there's your story right there. Okay, if that's what you collect, and you want
the story
rookie
goes
jersey.
so much deeper than that, though. Like, when you ask for a story on a jersey, you're asking, like, what does this jersey mean to you? What does this jersey mean to the history of hockey? Tell me about this jersey. I can tell you stories about almost every single jersey that I have in my collection, and why it's important to me, and why it's important to the history of hockey.
I don't know if I can tell you about why some of the ones I have history to hockey, but most of them to me have something to do with like memories with a family member or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I think, yeah, it's
I think the point is you have a story, have
yeah.
something. The why, answer the why, not just say well because why. I mean that's what we're asking for. Because why? What is the significant value to you? And or hockey? Did he break a record and did he do something? So just because doesn't quite fit it, but they sell them.
Well,
You know,
perfect example to that is like when people ask me about Luke Glendening.
Right.
To anyone else, he's a nobody. To me, it means something completely different than it would mean to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same thing with the player I collect, Calvin Pickard. My story is, I was a season ticket holder. I met him personally. My son became a fan of his, and they exchanged and talked to each other, and he acknowledged him during the game because we were sitting at the glass at one point, and it was just a personal connection I had with him. I actually got quote unquote Pickard's rookie jersey last year because it was his first year up with the team and actually got to play and start, and actually has somewhat history because he's the first goalie that came in relief twice to get his first 2 wins of his career. Like, because Berra was doing crap, so Pickard came in. They were behind. Pickard came in. He won his first game. They were behind again. Pickard came in relief, and he won his second game. So it was like the first goalie to get his first 2 careers as in relief. So I mean, it's a minuscule stat, but it's still a milestone jersey in my view. So
Means something to you.
Well, it's like Bobby
and
was saying, it's the meaning that you put on like
right.
if you go to a game with your family and maybe your family's no longer around, you might want a jersey from the game you went to with them. Or
Hmm.
like for me, I hacked all my Toledo Walleye stuff. I'm sure you guys know and have read all that
yes, you
shit.
did.
What? I'm shocked.
However, I did keep a Kyle bonus jersey that I won't be getting rid of, and the reason why is met Kyle, dope as fuck. We ended up being friends on Facebook and we message every now and then. And he actually keeps tabs on jerseys that I get in my collection. It was a preseason game at the Walleye this year, and he was, not dressed because they were trying to figure out who they wanted on the team and stuff. And I was up there and I saw him in the box and I was like, hey, he's like, hey, you get any new jerseys? I saw a couple of the ones that you got. And, when I was winning auctions for some other people that wanted one of his jerseys or something, I was like, hey, check out what I picked up. It was just a game issue or whatever. And he was like, that's dope, it's cool to see that jersey go to a purist,
Yeah.
So he remembered like stories about me, and he looks and sees stuff I get into my collection, and he finds that interesting, and he let me know about that. And those are the moments where players can make the history for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, I know, everyone kind of frowns upon the whole, charity jerseys, but I won one just recently because and I went for that specific player and I paid way more than I should have. But there was 2 reasons. A, the charity. I donate to this charity. I figured, you know what? At least if I'm donating, I'm getting a physical item back instead of just getting a tax return. I get a tax return and now I get an item. And I picked this player. He might make the NHL. He's a local guy from the area. He and my daughter, my 4-year-old, bowled together at the Meet the Team event, this year for the Monsters. And he had a great interaction with my daughter. My daughter, kind of flirted with him because, that's what 4-year-olds do. And she had fun, and I had fun talking and meeting with him. And so, I mean, I went for that player, and I paid that exorbitant price for that reason because of the way he interacted with me and my kids, and how nice of a guy he was.
There's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but that's kind of how I kind of do some of those specialty jerseys, or even with some of the players. It's like, what connection do I have to that player or to that team for
Mm-hmm.
that specific jersey? Like, as much as it pains me, I might look for a Penguins jersey for taking my daughter to her first Penguins game because she likes Malkin, even though he didn't get to play. And
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the
Oh,
weird part of my collection. I do,
Yeah, if you want his game jersey, get ready. They're not.
Yeah,
crowded.
I know. Oh, I'm
Expensive.
waiting. Trust me. I might just go and yeah.
Yeah,
The
so these are the stories, that come out that make people pay for jerseys because it's a remarkable moment.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear,
And
you
the
didn't get
rookie
rid.
jerseys aren't necessarily that case.
Well,
No.
because and it's and for most of us, unless now, some of us live in a lower level area like we're at ECHL or AHL. If you get their rookie jersey from that team, you got a better chance of being a connection. Like you said, you could talk to the guy about the jersey and everything like that. But McDavid, even if I bought, what's the chance of me meet McDavid to talk to him about his jersey?
Right.
Right.
You're gonna have
So
security all over you, like, oh, you can't talk to him.
right. So now there's no significant value. There's no I
Well,
don't
you
have a
can't
story to
you
go
can't
with
create a
it.
personal connection at that
Right.
point.
There's no
Right.
personal level to it, unless I think the only thing you can do, it can never be a personal connection with a player. It can simply be, maybe you're at a game where something happens where he does something that is a memory that's indelible that you'll carry with you forever.
Like
Maybe
the
now
most
if-
fantastic goal you've ever seen or something
Right.
like
If
that.
Exactly.
if you won the jersey off his back or something where you went on the ice and you got to meet him at that
Yeah.
time, that's a different. Well, you won the jersey, you didn't pay
The
for
only time you really get that with a hyped up player or a player in the NHL is if you're Sean Chalk.
yeah.
That's when you get that level of connection. You have to be Sean Chalk. If your name's not Sean Chalk, you're probably not going to get that connection.
it. I agree with you, man. Just if you get a thing, that's why some jerseys they're not big to some people, but they're big to you because of something that meaningful to you. A connection, a player, hometown, whatever it is.
It's that easy, guys. All you got to do is spend 80 grand a jersey, and you too
Yeah.
can have those connections.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Well, there we go.
Having Wayne Gretzky come over to your house. Come on.
Yeah. Whatever.
Come on.
He just used you for your money. Good job. I'd rather do it the way that most of us do it. You by going to the games, by making a connection, by seeing them at a meet and greet, by something striking up a conversation somehow through their jersey or whatever, and make a connection that way, making it more meaningful than I dropped 80 grand. For you.
Speaking of meaningful, let's take a toll with the 5 guys that we have on this call right now, starting with Bobby, and
Okay.
let's see what the most meaningful jersey to you would be. You may or may not have it. If it's not something that you have, you can say it anyway. What is the one jersey that would be the most meaningful for you?
I'm fortunate. Both of them are ones that I have. I'm trying to pick between two. So my favorite player is Paul Ranheim, and it's either I have his jersey from his 1,000th game, which is for a long time I've said is my favorite jersey, but I also have the one that he was wearing when I got to see him in person play for the first time, which was awesome, and I was with my dad, and it's like this great memory. So either one of those, but yeah, not a marquee player or anything, but yeah, Ranheim.
All right, Dan, what's yours?
Well, the one I don't have is a Lurg, and I probably won't be able to get the Lurg because it was last year when I went to the game and met Jeff. I believe they were wearing black, so I think that the jersey they were wearing that night. I believe so. It's hard to get that one. Met Jeff and everything like that.
What you need to do is pick up some swag that Robert Scott wants and trade for it because he got his Batman Lurk back, so he might be willing to let that one go eventually.
Yeah, he only collects walleye stuff, and we already know that he could be getting walleye jerseys.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll come around though.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it for you.
My McKenna is special. I know Mike, like Doc does.
Hey, you only get one, man.
I think you said one or two. All right, Lurg.
Yeah,
I'm after Lurg.
Bobby said 2, I think.
I did.
Yeah.
I said the same player, but I said two. You're right.
Yeah, but that'd be probably my next one. Because I saw him play. Me and my son traveled up to Binghamton to when we first met him with the Devils. He took my son in the locker room, and he had every player saw my son's jersey before they walked out. The next year he signed with Binghamton, the Senators. We drove up there to see him, and that jersey that he used in the game, eventually it went up for auction. I was able to win it. In a locker room tour with the game and meeting the players up in Binghamton and everything like that. So, and then over the years, I've been rooting, keeping an eye on his career. So it's a special jersey for who he is, and like Bobby said, it's maybe nobody big to some people, but to me, he's a friend, and so I like having his jersey.
Cool. Eric?
I'd say, well, it's not rookies or anything like that, but I'd say Millen's Blackhawk jersey. I ended up through Tom Lance. I ended up getting a couple of older Hawk jerseys from him prior to him putting everything up for an auction. But the significance for that is my first Hawk game was with Millen and net, and it was that jersey. So to me, it has that sentimental part to it.
Tom, what's yours?
It's not a specific player. This one's kind of a meaning. I want it worn during a game I went to because I have the ticket stub still. It's when I went to my first hockey game with my father, who has he has since passed. But I remember the game. I have the ticket stub. And I remember the game. It was the Blues versus the Kings, and I just would like one from that game just because it's that memory I want because I was with my father. I wouldn't even care the player, but it was. It's during the 98. See, it was in February of 98 or February of 99 is, during that game. I have it, I have the ticket stub somewhere, put away in my keepsakes, but it's just like, that's the first hockey game I got to go see live instead of on TV. And I got to go with my father, and it was just, it's one of those moments one of those memories I want to have in my closet or on my wall, because to me that was a big moment for me.
Mine kind of has a doesn't exist clause yet. So the one that does exist would be Yzerman 97 Stanley Cup Finals white. It's the jersey that they wore winning the cup, first lift since the cup drought. So that would be
choice.
Yeah, that would be pretty special. Obviously, I'm never gonna get that. I think he might have that himself. I think they kept all those, not confirmed, but that's what I'm guessing. And then my doesn't exist yet, but it would take that over, would be Glendenning Cup lift. And then what would supersede that would be my son's rookie jersey in the NHL. Boom.
Yeah, that'll be. I'll follow up with that one too. If my son. He's got a chance to play college hockey, and that will be my favorite jersey when he plays college hockey. No doubt in my mind.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No doubt. Because, obviously, just like Derek said, how can you not say that? I think we all wish that. I don't care if it's a boy or girl. If your boy or if your son or daughter gets up to something like that level, I don't care what college. It doesn't have to be Michigan. It could be, a low-level college. It can be whatever. If your son or daughter gets up there, and you're a collector like we are, that's on the wall. That there's no if and buts about it,
Yeah.
So that's a good one right there, Derek. Good job.
Got a listener that typed in saying theirs is a 96-97 Sergei Berezin rookie, and they currently own it, so they have the one that they want. So that's a pretty cool story. All right, we got a lull. So I think we kind of capped off our discussion on rookie talk. Talked a little bit about Austin Matthews and that class coming in. Anybody have any news that they want to put out, or something that they want to get off their chest about anything that has happened recently?
I'll say something.
Is it about your
Kind
new
of going back,
t-shirt?
huh?
Is it about your new t-shirt?
No, it's not. We're not talking wrestling. I'm not talking wrestling.
I'm putting
no.
the t-shirt
This is
on
hockey
the
now.
article. I'm putting the t-shirt on the article when I post it.
I try not to cuss, so I try. Kids are asleep. I could, but no, I don't know how many people of you do some of the auctions, but I kind of do that with the Monsters a lot, because that's usually how they sell their jerseys. But it kind of irks me is like when people get mad that you're like, oh, this person paid $800 and got these 3 jerseys, and I think they should be limited and shouldn't get win 5 jerseys at an auction, and it's like if they have the money and they're willing to spend it, let them do it. I'm not saying it was directed toward me, but I've just seen it done in the past, and not just in my group, but in other groups, it's like someone will win and they'll win like 3 jerseys, and then they get butt hurt because they didn't win, but they weren't willing to pay them the amount the other person paid. And it's like, well, I think they should just give it to me, which that is a direct quote that someone has said that, well, they should be limited to 2 or maybe 1, and if they get over, they should just give it to the next person that was behind them in the bidding. And it's like, yeah, I'll give it back to you if you pay what I pay for it. I'm not just going to give you a jersey. And it's like, I feel like that's kind of like what's coming up wrong with society. I'm not doing any political talk, trust me, but it's like, I feel like people feel like they're entitled just because they put a bid in there. They're entitled to that jersey because they put a bid into that. You know what? No.
Well, let's take that jersey. We'll chop it up into cards, and then everybody can have that jersey.
Yeah, that's where that conversation leads.
Yeah, we're not going into that conversation, please.
That's just people being butthurt,
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's just kind of a pet peeve. I just want to get off my chest. It's just like,
that's like
where do you get that?
I collect Calvin Pickard, so whoever bidding above my X number of dollars, you can't bid anymore.
Right.
Well,
like I really wanted that Stadium Series, but you know what? The guy's willing to pay more than I am. Good for them.
But you set a limit based on your budget, based on what you can afford or what you perceive the value to be. If you perceive the value to be X number of dollars and someone overbids it, like, okay, man, I'm not.
You should never be upset about losing an auction because it's based entirely on what someone's willing to pay.
Yeah,
if it goes for more than you're willing to pay, well, then guess what? You can't afford it.
But it's not fair because I don't make that much money to be able to afford it.
Well,
it should be $100. That's what I've heard. It should be $100.
We should just raffle them off because everybody would have an equal chance to get them then, and that's how it should be.
It's funny. My wife likes to remind me, and she's so right. I'll get excited about winning an auction. So maybe it's one of the Hurricanes auctions or something, and I'll get really excited, and I'll say, hey, babe, I just won this auction for this jersey. And she goes, make no mistake, you didn't win anything.
Yes, I heard that one.
You won the right to purchase something, the obligation to purchase something, but that's it.
Well, that's like I said, I won 2 autism jerseys, at the Monsters auction. I didn't plan to win 2. Another one of those. One was a actual silent auction where you just write the amount down, and the other was a secret auction. And I literally put a low bid in for a good player, and I didn't expect to win him. I had the one that I was determined to win, and I asked my wife, I go, what's the limit? She's like, there is no limit. You have no limit. You can go as high as you want. I was like, are you sure? She's like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'm just making sure. And so the guy put a big high bid down. I'm like, I text her, and I only had like 30 seconds. I'm like, please answer me, And she's like, yeah, go ahead. You can go higher if you want to. I was like, okay. And I was in one of those silent auctions. Like, they'll take it away for you even if you haven't finished signing in your phone number, because you were supposed to put your name, the amount, and then your phone number. And if you weren't finished, if you put your name and amount, they'll take it away. And if you don't finish your phone number, you didn't win it. And so I had to like hurry and write it down. And luckily, I won it. So.
Honey, I just mortgaged our house for this ECHL jersey.
It wasn't ECHL, it was AHL.
Same difference. It's not NHL. It's not the show.
That makes all.
Which is funny. The person I played the most for, I mean, like I say, he might make it to the NHL, but the person I actually got cheaper for will make it to the NHL.
Maybe.
Because, okay, I got a Sonny Milano for cheap, and then I got the Trent Vogelhuber for more. So I'm thinking Sonny will make it to the big time after, what he's done, being on the World Juniors and, actually having success at every level, I'm hoping. But I didn't pay a lot for it, so I'm happy. And I know it's a one-game wonder, but my son also likes that player, so that's kind of like a lot of how my bidding goes. Like, which player do my kids want? And
Yeah, the whole raffle versus auction thing always grinds my gears a little bit. With the whole, it's fair to do it this way. It's fair.
No, it should be an auction
No.
every time, live or silent, or
What
even
about
secret.
sales?
God, a raffle scares the crap out of me. That's
Yes,
the
it
worst
does.
way you can
Yes,
do it.
it does.
No, thank you.
Look,
'Cause there was
if you can't afford, to bid an auction or whatever, but you're cool with throwing your money away on potentially getting nothing, you confuse
Right.
me.
Well, they look at it this way. Hey, if I win, I got a jersey for $1, or I got it for $2 or $5, as opposed to, well, I got a jersey for $500. I'm better than you because I got my jersey for $1 and you got yours for $500. Haha. Yeah.
And then you have no jersey for
Yep.
$5.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Because once you say that's how much you pay for it, and at some point you probably will end up trying to sell it, and everyone knows you won it for $5. They're going to offer what you paid for it or less, because gosh forbid you get your money back on things.
Outside of auctions or the whatever, what about just team sales and just or the equipment sales? You're talking about people being upset when you win multiple jerseys on an auction. What about just a general sale? We've talked about it in the past.
I've never had to.
Ohio State sales and all the other stuff where you get the first 5 people in the door and they basically grab
Scoop
the whole
everything
rack and run off with it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, mine on that depends. I mean,
Yeah.
What is the motive for the purchase? Are you purchasing for yourself? Then, you obviously were the first in the door. You wanted it for yourself. You bought it for yourself. And, you wanted it more than somebody else, which was proof by you getting there before them. Now,
Yep.
if you're a story that I heard of somebody who went and waited for like 2 days in line or a day in line to scoop up a crap ton of jerseys to hawk on eBay, I think that's some all bullshit.
Are we talking about the Michigan guy taking the Ohio State jersey stuff from the sale last year? Because I was just going to say the same thing.
So
and
it's funny.
None of those jerseys have sold for what he's asked for them either. None. Because everyone knows.
Well, that happens a lot, especially in the college ranks. And I collect Florida Gator jerseys. I probably have it's definitely over 100 Florida football jerseys. I love the Florida football, and they sell them in a similar type sale each and every year. But they got a new policy in place that at first, when I read it on paper, I was like, no, I don't like this, because my wife and I used to get there at 3 a.m. and we'd go and we'd buy them and I would keep them, and it was not to resell. However, what they started doing was you can get in line whenever you want. You go through the line, you get to buy 2. You get 2 and you can get back in line. And what I was pissed when they first came out with that. I was like, well, no, I waited in line. I should get to buy as many as I want. But what wound up happening was people would think, oh, I don't want to go back to the line. Forget it. And I wound up getting so much better stuff just by having an orderly system where you didn't have to worry about somebody scooping everything up. You didn't have to worry about anything. It just made things so much more orderly, organized, and it just worked better.
Well, that's kind of like that easy way to get around that is have some of your friends come that aren't going to buy them, have them stand in line with you, say, okay, this is what I want. I want you to pick these up, and then I'll pay you at the end. Well, we'll pay for it now, and I'll pay you, once we get done.
Yep.
And I think I don't see a problem with that. Again, I don't see a problem with, being the first one there. And I think, though, you shouldn't be first one there and then you grab 7 game-worn jerseys, and then unless it's, of the same player that you want to keep for yourself. But, I mean, it's hard to tell. Are they going to keep it for yourself? Or are they going to go and sell it on the secondary market,
I've been third in line and had somebody in front of me buy literally everything. I got nothing.
What is it, the fucking Oscars? Getting music to play us off?
Yeah, just about. We got less than a minute left. Well, I am gonna go ahead and cut you guys off. We'll go ahead and continue the conversation if we want a little bit later. But what we do want to do is let's decide this week and see what we want the next episode to be about. I think this was a pretty good one. So we'll go ahead and get this posted, and if anybody else wants to chime in, you guys should know the outlets by now. We'll go ahead and take care of that. Thank you guys for joining in this week. It was a really good and fun conversation. I think anybody listening should have a lot of good information. If you guys want to stay on after the call, feel free, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.